Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to some. My name is Zakia Carr Johnson. I'm founder of Black Women Disrupt, an initiative we started here in Atlanta, Georgia in 2018 that was meant to bring together sister disruptors, Black women, entrepreneurs, and innovators across the Americas and throughout the African diaspora. We wanted to find ways to inspire one another, challenge one another, co-create together, and transform the societies in which we live. And when we met Dylan Valley and Antoinette Engel in 2019, we founded Black Women Disrupt the Web together. This experience has been a labor of love, and this series of master classes and panels that we're offering to this new community is something that we just can't explain, that has been tremendous and powerful. We want to thank our special guest for being here with us today, and we look forward to seeing more of you involved in our future events. Don't forget, we have a showcase in July, and we can't wait for you to be a part of it. Thank you so much for participating. See you soon.
With these ideas as guideposts, we will look deeply at the integral qualities of an image. And first, I would like to define, at best, my idea of metaphysical vision by looking at the terms separately. Metaphysics, in my mind's eye, is mind and matter, soul and body, mind and matter, soul and body. Substance plus attribute, meaning the subject of the thing and the way of the thing. Potentiality and actuality, meaning possibility and motion. Metaphysics is, I believe, similar to components or elements of composition that rounds the finite and the infinite. So this is an integration of knowledge, culture, and welding itself or oneself, meaning adaptation, creating one's own understanding by way of myth. Vision is memory, which is ancestral. It's a connectivity to the seen and the unseen. It is meditation and expansion, listening and identifying one's voice in many voices. To underscore vision, there are two, meaning two qualities, I believe, that we should look at, which is perception, which works with how we internalize a thing in a present or new way. And then sight in the sense of awareness of all things. There is a book entitled The Power Behind One's Eyes by Robert Michael Kaplan. He speaks of the reciprocal process between insight and eyesight, which he believes also is genetic and on a soul level relating to the physical plane. So as I'm wearing glasses, he also states that it is a moment of myopia or nearsightedness, myopia, nearsightedness, that he speaks is more so comes from stress as a child. So the way that we view our circumstances or our surroundings. So with this, I would like to state that vision itself goes beyond the external, what is outside, but it's more so inside. It is a doorway to the brain where we hold memory and knowledge but it also speaks to the fullness of our bodies and adaptability to see beyond what is right before our eyes. So when I was 28, I had an awakening moment of dreams and spiritual travel. Then on top of that, I began extreme or in-depth spiritual studies. And I began traveling to Peru, to Brazil, to Africa, to Cuba, searching for myself, but more so integrating the philosophies of my ancestors. Joseph Campbell would call this the hero's journey, and can sometimes be symbolized by Fool's card in the tarot, which expresses an imaginative, curious, innocent, risk-taking moments. So in my risk-taking of finding myself, I began, I took risks so much, excuse me, I took risks so much that there were moments where I had to challenge social constructs and also my perceptions and my involvement with teachings of the past, present moment, and how they work for me and if they do not work for me. So meditation became an extreme part of my life. So it's also, the meditation is a playful moment. It is playful conviction, so to speak. So from my moments of creating my blog, which I will share, which is Equinox 1600, and also placing images via Facebook, over 8,000 images on Facebook, 11,000 images on Equinox 1600. I began working, I will say I began to be a sought after woman. I began working with directly with cinematographers, filmmakers, artists, students. Some by the name of listed will be Bradford Young, Arthur Jafa, Khalil Joseph, Stink Films, Girl Culture Films, to name a few. So let me see where I am. Can someone talk to me? I mean, I just,
It's Lakeisha. It's a little loud where I'm at, so I didn't want to unmute, but yeah.
Oh, okay, that's okay. I appreciate you. I just, yeah,
Because I have my mask, so sorry, I'm in public. So
no, that's okay. That's okay. Because the thing is, I would love to have some comments, because I feel, for me, conversation is really important, so that I am not, I want to be as clear as I possibly can.
Okay.
However, I'm sorry?
Sorry, that's I'm in DC.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And there's a gentleman that is sits here, and yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, no worries. No worries.
Shouting.
I appreciate him though. How about that? Okay. Yeah. So all right. So I am, let's see if I can get back to my notes here. So basically, after working with this couturier moment, I began to become sought after, and I created a film that I would like to show. It's about 3 minutes long, and it's entitled Oyeku. And I'm going to share my screen briefly here so that we can look at it a bit. So here, is how it's actually set up. Oyeku has black projection on the west wall. So it projects from the projector onto the screen here. However, on the east wall, we have black acrylic, which shines like a mirror. So you have this moment with the obsidian mirror from the Aztec philosophy that these images then play upon each other and they are reflected. So people begin to, the viewer will move into this space. They are then reflected inside of the mirror and become a part of this moment in which these images are constantly filtering through. Also, you have chords on the side as installation. And this was done by invitation into Khalil Joseph's New Sons in the Netherlands, in Maastricht at the Bonnefanthem Museum, which was a wonderful moment for me. Also because David Lynch was coming in afterward, which I really enjoy his films, you know. So this is Oyeku. I hope that after I show it, that we'll be able to speak a little bit to the images that you're seeing. The images as far as relationship to one another, or one particular relationship that may speak more just to you on a personal level. So this is Oyeku. The music is by Daeziku, and it's called Paper Planes. So,
Okay.
Oyeku.
Right. So Oyeku is a metaphysical principle in the Ifa tradition. It is about the ending of a cycle or completion of the ending of a cycle. And it also can mean physical death. Uh, what Oyeku, as I'm trying to, I guess, get out of this screen. Let's see. Well, okay. Oyeku, it's in an oral tradition. Oyeku means the end of a cycle. These cycles are varied and exist as spheres of life and death simultaneously. The circular viewing is an adaptation of the concept and practice of the Aztec obsidian mirror that reflects images and fates of all that is seen and unseen. It communicates sacred messages to humans. The film is a prayer, and it is I created it out of the many deaths and the societal and communal uprisings that were happening in the United States. It is over 273 images
Oh, wow.
within the, let's see, stop share. How about that? It's over 273 images within the film, and they were chosen within maybe a 2-week period. So it is the film, the images came first by way of meditation. So usually when I approach my work, I will choose 3 allies, and 3 allies, usually 2 feminine, to work with intuition and to work with the inner landscape of the mind and body. Then a male that actually proposes expansion that is outward. So I may choose, for example, Toni Cade Bambara, Henry Dumas. Toni Cade Bambara, meaning she is one of my favorite writers, African-American writers that really held truth to culture and community and really pushed forward about what that means, and then also how it affects one another if we are dishonest, or if we are I'm sorry, did someone say something?
That's our friend.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was trying to stay interactive, but that's going to get some background in there involuntarily.
That is quite all right. I appreciate you being present. Yes. So she really was a person that spoke to the community to actually correct the wrongs and to propel an integrity that will afford us new beginnings, and healing. Healing was a great proponent of her writings and legacy. So Henry Dumas or John Coltrane, those people will bring a rhythmic vibration. It's not necessarily their works and words, though it's a part of, but it is more so the vibration in which I feel them in the world, in community, in Black thought, in a way of communicating via their arts and their gifts and their talents, but more so a tenacity and the availability to continue forward amongst much struggle, that is surrounding them. So I have a question, wondering more so if there's anyone, how do they feel about the relationship of the images in Oyeku? And also, if there is someone that would like to respond to if there was a single image that was impressed upon you in any way.
There was a comment from Lee Davis. I don't know if she wants to say her comment. Lee, do you want to say your comment, or you want me to read your comment?
Hey, Lee.
Hi, Saudade.
How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. My comment was just how much I love how Oyeku moves in and out of time, that it feels like there is a backwards vision, a forward vision, being very present, a now and a then, inwards and outwards, very personal, but also very universal. Moments of great sadness, wonder, and also of great rejoicing and pleasure. So, and to think that I've had that experience over 2 minutes and over 200 images is quite moving. And I thank you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate you being present with me. I appreciate that very much. I see here that C in the chat says, I remember watching Oyeku 2 hours in loop. Is that, is it possible you could tell me something about it?
Yes. Hello. Thank you.
Hey,
this is Kofi. Yeah, we had the chance to exchange a few months ago through Instagram. First of all, thank you. I'm from Europe, part of the diaspora, but from Europe. But first time I heard about your job was through AJ's lecture, and he was mentioning your blog. And then I got blown away by the images, and then I watched Oyeku, and I was dizzy. I got dizzy because there's something about some images can get very macroscopic, and then for some reason it's universal. It's like infinite. You end up there's something about the sequencing of the images that is very soothing to me. And the only thing that I mean, I don't know if you know about Chris Marker, La Jetée. I have that vibe, but even more, I don't know, it was La Jetée on steroids. It was impressive. So I'm a huge fan of your work, and I'm a huge fan of Oyeku, and the sound as well, and the sequencing, and the images, and the textures, and the palpable and non-palpable, and it's I don't know, I'm a bit overwhelmed, but I just wanted to thank you, and I'm a huge fan.
Well, I want to say thank you. You know, that means the world to me, more so that of how it lands with you, you know, and that it is inspirational, or that it opens you up a bit, you know, if I may say that, you know, the heartfelt impact when I am creating is what I desire. I desire that as I have journeyed and had my own spiritual moments, is that others, the viewer, will have their moments. You know, sometimes it's very difficult for me to say what things are and what, you know, they should be, or, you know, the English language is very hard sometimes, I feel, you know, to be able to really get at the heart of matters, you know, the heart that matters within myself. So and especially in talking about my work, I tend to be a bit shy, you know, because I'm always in this space really of articulation in almost in the invisible, you know. So this, which I think Black Women Disrupt, gives me an opportunity, and other opportunities to express myself at best and as fluid, you know, as possible. To segue a little bit, and I'm happy to hear about the blog. My blog, Equinox 1600, was created because I was struggling with my painting. And my painting, every every moment of discipline in my artwork is meditative. So I was struggling with connecting with the voices and really drawing and painting freely. So that's when I began Equinox 1600. I began looking at images, and I basically began in prayer, and I asked an energy, which would be called Eshu or Elegba, the gatekeeper of all things and the linguist, you know, that speaks in so many ways, not just with all forms of language, but also the inanimate objects as well. And in nature, all things become alive and fluent and full of life. And we're able to have these conversations that are impactful. So I was asking for this particular energy to come into the images and the image placement on my blog. So with that, I would like to also state that I'm looking at my culture. I'm also looking at myself, and then I begin to create a new narrative and a new way in which I desire to see ourselves. And that doesn't scapegoat my feelings of sadness or pain or hurt, but it more so, Equinox 1600 almost gives a place in which there is safety and there is community and that there is full expression with all things. The only thing that is not there is the white gaze. There are no white people whatsoever there. However, we do have, you know, quotes and artwork. So there is a sense of the worldly element of the all, yet there is a safe place for Black people or people of color to commune and to be. So I would like to share a little bit of Equinox 1600. And Equinox 1600 is the never-ending rebirth of an idea. The fun part of Equinox 1600 is being able to actually read it forwards and backwards. Sometimes there's a little essence of numerology and story within. So we have moments that will go similar in this way. This particular photo, can you see these okay? I mean, are they too small or should I make them larger?
I can see them pretty good.
You see them pretty good? Okay.
Yeah.
This is the link. This is how they move. So here, there is a few words, but they're always in nature. So sometimes I might clip the image a little bit, meaning in an editing, the image might not be as square or rectangular, just for impact. And it's not, but I do not distort the images at all. All of the images are found images. Some are mine as well, but most of them are found. So,
and where are you looking for these images? Where is?
I source the images by way of story. So in my mind, there is the narrative, and it's a playful narrative. It's a narrative in which I desire to bring forth love, all things positive, and I don't know.
I feel like you're selecting images to reflect the feelings that you're trying to.
Thank you.
communicate. That's what
Thank
I'm getting
you.
from it.
No, it is so true.
These are
It is so
completely
true.
from through the beginning when you mentioned the prayer and the meditation, bringing forth the
It is.
feelings and having these images reflect those feelings, because it was very, you felt as the movie played
Uh-huh. No,
the
that is,
feelings behind it.
yes, that is so true. Because they say even in the book Power Beyond the Eyes is that, and in Congolese understandings, they say all seeing is feeling. So if you are feeling the thing, you are seeing the thing, you know. So here, the interesting part as well is seeing these moments within the image. And then also, one of the directors that I love very much is Lars von Trier, and he is very problematic. However, he also speaks of the image being the instant, you know, that it is that thing, you know, not just the whole. It is probably the most important piece. Um, and the composition of the piece. So it's not necessarily by way of color that I am choosing, even though it does matter, but it is the feeling and it is the presence of nature and it is the story of that is multiplicitous, you know, in each image. And how does one deep dive into and creating a story for oneself.
Can you go back a few images?
Yeah,
There's like some technical looking image in
right here.
this one. Yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. Because it's just like we're flowing and then we have this, and I'm like, wait, I get lost in that a little bit. So how does that come into the flow?
And
Or
this technical moment, this technical
yes.
image. Yeah, so here we would start probably here when I begin this thing. So I would choose maybe 3 to 4 images. So we have this moment, actually, these terms, deceive and phosphorate, and then we have this water. So it's this moment of water inside the earth that then I would say works with the graph in a way of composition to
Okay.
break up a bit of the static, or the break up a bit of the imaginary, the image, and then the presence of the candle. So it's almost like a weigh machine. It's almost like a moment in which you have pause, but the degrees and the levels of water and the mountain, and this is about cell currents, you know, and it is something about the math of the thing
Okay.
that really works for me. And I'm not sure if if I really answered the question, but it
It's
is.
some insight into how that comes across and how it lands itself here in the flow of the images. So you definitely added to that understanding. Yes.
Yeah, it is the rhythm of the thing, the stopping of the thing. And it is also understanding that we are vibration, you know, that everything is vibrating, everything has resonance. So the graph there shows the currents of, one could say, in one's imagination, because a part of the blog is the expansion of imagination and breath and repetition. So here, that gives that opportunity to weigh in or to scale or engage nature itself, and in light of uh, not oneself, but humanity, one can say. Indeed. So the images that I find are narrative, and I find them all over the web. The interesting thing about finding images now is that whether we are understanding or not, in America, there is a great deal of censorship. You cannot find a lot of images that I feel hold or encapsulate a strong quality of feeling, a strong quality of imagination. If we go into Shutterstock and the way that things are lit, it is now becoming more of a, I would say, a plastic resolve. You know, it almost gives a barrier or a door that you kind of hit. You can't actually go through it into something else because it's all so staged and not quite natural.
That's true.
Even Yes, even here, you know, this is a shot of course, a museum inside of museum. However, the depth and the angle and the quality of the materials bring forth a greater mystery. So with that, also in the selection is, or even in the composition, if being a filmmaker is how to enhance mystery and how to actually allow one to walk into, you know, the photo and have their own life inside. Is there room for me to dance around? Is there room for me to hold my own story, you know, within the image? So I feel that that is something that is extremely powerful, because I believe so many times we want the viewer to either be safe or to understand what it is we're trying to say. And this can kind of be where I should find a little equilibrium, because I am so abstract that I desire for the viewer to engage and play without any rules, you know. And I feel that's a part of the art process, is that we have so many rules that we're not able to create fluidly, you know. And for ourselves, we're so busy then wondering, what is this person going to think, what is this culture going to think, instead of being able to be present and to express ourselves in love, and to express ourselves however we choose to express ourselves. You know, we live in a world where it's very hard to speak one's personal truth in safety, you know. So Equinox 1600 is really a place of safety, a safe place for me. And this is another graph, so you can
Wow.
actually see people in it. And and then we get into a little bit of this idea, you know, of America, and then it breaks, and it gives that resolve. And that's too probably, you know, with the graph, because I can't really say, because, you know, the thing with Equinox 1600, there's 273 images, but I didn't really see the relationship to the images until it was done, till it was like final. And I was so busy just feeling them, as you were saying. And then when it was time to put it into Photoshop, cut it out into that circle, you know, it was time to, you know, put it into the installation. And so from that, I began watching it, and I'm like, wow, I'm even surprised. So it gives me a great deal of play and surprise, which I really, really enjoy. And it also gives me a wonderful hug to know that, you know, my ancestors' spirit and the things that I read are so a part of myself, that I'm not trying to be one in academia, but I am being one that is channeling and also creating and also owning oneself and one's ideas. And so to be an artist and to own oneself and one's idea, or to be human, to own oneself and one's idea, is extremely, extremely powerful, and can also receive a bit of pushback, but which I have.
Oh yeah.
There's no way around it. But
And what is that like? What is that? Is that in that moment like? That's interesting to hear about the pushback, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the pushback can also be with your colleagues,
Yeah.
in the sense of, peers, and art, and sometimes it's devastating actually, because I am trying not to take it personally, but at the same time, like they say, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my work. But at the same time, that's where also the meditative quality of non-attachment comes into play. And I believe that's really why, another part of why I love the abstract process, is because, yeah, I am available to hear from so many others, without no, that's not what I meant, or whatever, and high critique, so it really helps, and sometimes the pushback is good because everyone then has the opportunity to expand and to have a larger perception of world and self, or self and world, and then creating something in which affords new dimension, scope, and perspective. And I believe that right now in the world, we need new dimension, new scope, new perspective.
Definitely.
We need new narratives. We need new ways. And I feel that my process and my work really convey new ways of thinking. Yes.
I can see that. And then the comments, I think, Ade Moon. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong.
Oh man, Mr. Moon.
Okay.
What you gonna do? You gonna talk? You gonna talk to me? What's going on? You I guess he's not gonna talk. Where is
Can
he?
you unmute? Let me unmute you. See if I can unmute
Oh, what? I see this comment.
He said, "Oh hell no." Okay, all right.
So what's this comment? Is that
hell
okay?
no?
What is
That's a
your
comment.
process in finding and curating these images? That's funny.
I think you went through that, and I was just trying to see if she answered it. You felt like you got the answer.
Did I answer, Mr. Moon?
Yes, ma'am.
So funny.
Yeah.
Come on, Mr. Moon.
I appreciate you. You did answer it.
Thank you.
Adaye Moon is a very close friend of mine.
Adaye, okay. Thanks for being here, Adaye.
Yes.
And Lee as well. She's been having some really interesting comments too. So.
Don't tell us what you see. We see what and where you want. Thank you, Mr. Moon. Okay.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you.
Yeah. Every separate image is a feeling, story, and healing. Then they all reference in a way linear yet secular. Yes, indeed.
Oh, she wants to know about the art behind you.
Okay. The art behind me. This one, I don't know if you can see this. Okay. I don't know if I should do that. But one is a parody, and it's a painting collage. And it is I would say a bit controversial and forthright to a certain extent. It's about the church and freedom fighters, and then and it's also about prison, and it's about it's about how we need to reconcile our relationship to spirit and also to each other, and within and community. So there's a QR code and some papers coming out that have a song, and it's a spoken word piece by Darius James. That's actually a parody is written by Frederick Douglass. So, and it's about priests that whip their slaves and other things in relationship to the church. And then behind me also here is Trap 808. And this is for Tony K. Bambara. It is about, it's about deep sight and seeing our community and what it is that we do to ourselves in the community. And so there are some haunting images, and it's another moment of painting and collage.
Mm.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Lee. Wow. So I thank everyone for being here, and see, you know, I really appreciate you and what you expressed. And if at all possible, please reach out to me. If you can go to my website, maybe I can put it there, or I'll put my
Do you have a separate one? I put in the Equinox site a few times. So people have
okay.
it. But
Yeah,
send us what you got.
okay. All right. Let's see.
This was really great.
Okay. So this is my Gmail. I would love to talk with you more and hear about your work, which is really exciting for me. And then here is, yeah, here is my website as well, which is a bit under construction, but available. So,
Do you know if you're sending it to Tara? Tara, are you getting those? It's like you can select who sees it. It's to everyone or to someone.
oh, looky here.
I think you might be sending it to someone privately.
I am most definitely sending it to my new friend.
There we go. She
Yeah,
just
you
put it
see
out there
now?
for us. She put it
That's
out there
great.
for us.
Thank you. Let's see. What's next for you, Lee Davis? Hey, Lee. What's next for me? Okay. Right now I am working on several things. I am working with a community here through the University of South St. Pete, and we are looking at words, images, and all forms of creativity, even sound design, to express a neighborhood that is about to be gentrified, and also the water quality and the relationship to the environment, to the community. So that's a residency that's happening here for 2 months. And also I am in production with 2 other people, creating a Juneteenth Jubilee. So it will have art installations and bands, music, DJs, things such as that. It begins at 10 p.m. until 2 a.m. And that one is very, very it is stealthy. It is like it is very strong for the community. The community has not really been expressed, especially the youth. My teacher says that the future is behind us. So it's a wonderful moment to really work with the youth and how they feel about Juneteenth. So that's another moment. And then I have an art show. I'll be showing some of my paintings and photography at Studio 620 as well. Yeah, I believe that's might be it for right now.
Studio
Um,
620, that's also in St. Petersburg?
yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes. And C says, can you tell me more about your collaborations with cinematographers? Um, yeah. Are there particular cinematographers? With Arthur Jafa? Arthur Jafa and I, we were extremely close for like 2 years. We talked on the phone daily, and we just imagined and just talked and talked and talked. And then he invited me into 2 of his works, and from that, one of the beautiful moments is that he would express myself as okay, yes, indeed. I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. He would express that I was similar to the John Coltrane of images, the availability to be what can I say? Improvisational, multifaceted, multiplicitous, in the grabbing of the image, or even working with the images that are available. C is saying Bradford Young. Bradford Young is first thing came to my mind is a soothsayer. You know what I mean? Bradford Young is like he is probably the most humble, available, creative listening ear that I have worked with. He is incredible. And he asked me to pull images and image research, but also gave me my own autonomy, where he says, hey, can you then describe these images and how this image can fit into what it is that we are creating? So that came into editing, maybe the idea of cropping, maybe what would be in succession, what be in placement as far as the images were concerned. And that was for Black History Month, Black History Written By, which was recent in February of this year. And Sean Peters is like incredible. He's just incredible all the way around. Khalil is wonderful. I had a great moment editing one of his moments called goodness, I'm sorry, I'm losing the title of the piece. But when we were in the Netherlands together, he invited me over with his editor, and we were still getting everything ready for the show. And we sat down and we just start really editing, pushing images back and forth. And we were complete within, I think, 30 minutes. I mean, I think we were done. And he was like, whoa, that was the fastest we've ever completed, completed a piece. So a film of that caliber, which was sweet and really super moments indeed. So C, is that good? Did I answer okay? Okay, thank you. And if there's anything else, you would like to know, or or if you want to just engage with me and jump on, we can volley a little bit back and forth.
Thank you very much. This is very insightful. I always wanted to ask you about your collaboration with filmmakers and cinematographers.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, so she's
Mhm.
put your information, all the ways to contact you in the chat. So,
Okay.
everyone, so that's pretty open to this discussion, I can see, and myself as well, I want to know more. So but I know we are running out of time.
Well, I do. Okay. I just want to say thank you so much for engaging with me, and helping me stay on track. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no problem. I'm here for it. I'm in transit, so it's a little crazy, but
yeah, and that's okay. I appreciate him being available as well. Everyone counts.
Yeah.
And Lee Davis, I love you and thank you so very much for being here with me. And thank you, Black Women Disrupt. Thank you, all artists of all disciplines. And I pray that we continue to move forward within our own imaginations and our own autonomy collectively. And and produce.
I think I'm gonna have to come to St. Petersburg at some
point. Come on
point.
now, we're gonna come down to Miami for sure.
That's the thing, everybody comes to Miami. So thank you so much. We are so honored to have you here and
thank you
to learn from this. And it's a hard time, but it's great to have this moment. So thank you so much for our sisters disruptors. On behalf of Zakia and Black Women Disrupt the Web, we thank you.
Woohoo! Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining as well. And thank you to our interpreters, Lamar and Taina.
Yes.
Thank you so much for letting, everyone be a part of this and share in this knowledge and this moment. So we'll talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.